I just finished my study. Today's study was on guidance. This isn't my first time doing this study on guidance. But having the opportunity to do it again and it just come up again, like I feel like it's just something needed for me to talk about. I feel like in life a lot of things could like guide us, like necessarily like our feelings, things that happen to us, opportunities, expectations, just things we look forward to that can change how we live or the steps we take in our lives to achieve those things. And starting our reading, the very first verse it gives me is James chapter 1, verses 5 through 6. And that goes in to say to just ask God for understanding, but do it faithfully to where you don't doubt that you'll receive an answer. Like, I'll give it to you how it gave it to me. It says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith, with no doubting, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. And so, I feel like this is just a great opportunity, again, to see how far our faith goes, and knowing that in our faith, we will be rewarded. And I forgot what verse it is. It's like similar, and it says like those in good faith will. I'm not sure if the word is rewarded, but it just talks about those in faith. And it then goes on to Psalms chapter 121, verses 1 through 2. Let's see if I could find it again. And it says, I will lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence comes my help. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. And so that basically goes to say, like, when we're like in any doubt or any trouble or any circumstance, just look up to God. Because ultimately, God has made everything. And why not go to God? Like, I seen a video earlier talking about if you have a broken iPhone, you wouldn't go to Android to get it fixed. You wouldn't go to some website to get it fixed. Like, you just go to Apple to get it fixed and get your parts replaced by Apple, because that's ultimately who made it. And I feel like that's something we should take in. Like, why jump to like anything? Like, I don't want to get too specific, but it could be substances, it could be activities, it could be anything, but ultimately we should go back to God, because that's who can truly help us. And I just want to continue to go on, because like as I was reading, it talks about Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 23. And that one says, O Lord, I know the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man who walks to direct his own steps. That basically means it is not in us to make our own choices and own, like choose our own directions to go to live how Jesus wants us to live. Like, of course we can make decisions on our own behalf to gain what we want. But ultimately, what we need is Jesus. And it's impossible for us to get there doing things on our own behalf, on our own steps. And I feel like it like closes out on 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 5, which is good because it says, Now may the Lord direct your hearts into the love of God and into the patience of Christ. Now the Lord obviously being Jesus. And I feel like this is so good because it's a verse and it says, Jesus is saying the only way to the Father is through him. And so we first must seek Jesus to then get to God. And in here, he's just saying, allow him to direct our hearts. Allow him to change our hearts. Like, this hoodie I got on, like, this is something I made. It's like my own personal thing. It's just a reminder to, like, become different. It's based off Romans 12:2, about do not conform to the patterns of the world, but let the Lord renew and transform your heart. And that's ultimately just what needs to happen. It's just him take control of you. And with you, everything starts from inside out. And so truly just giving him your heart and your desires and just going and letting him live the life for you. Like, not physically, but like take in the spirit that you already have and let it live for you. And there's a verse that I used to look back at, and it says, to live is to die and to die is to live. And that's basically learning to deny yourself and what you want to then accept and live for what Jesus wants for you. And I feel like in doing that, you really just have to like just humble yourself and allow Jesus to lead the way.